Hi and welcome back to the Citizen channel. We're all staying safe and well on our player rating show. A great victory, not the most comfortable victory, but we'll take it against 11-man Madrid plus the referee, because that's basically what it was. Thank God for VAR. Never thought I'd say that, but without VAR, I think he would have allowed Real Madrid to win this quite comfortably. So thankful for small mercies, because I can't stand VAR, but on games like this, when you've got a referee who's obviously never really fancies City, does he? Let's be honest. We needed that help. Certainly on a couple of key occasions, didn't we? Anyway, this is a player rating. We'll have a look back at the players' performances. A bit of a mixed bag again last night. We had moments where we looked a bit jittery and all players succumbed to that. And then we had moments of some good play. Generally more the jittery, but we'll talk about it anyway. Match day 6, of course, Champions League. Season 2025-26, there'll be a story of the game, obviously talking about us now being in 4th spot, which is good. See, the Leverkusen plan worked, didn't it, by Pep? What a genius he is. Okay, right, we'll have a look at the ratings of Tyrone Marshall for the Manchester Evening News. Yes, Simon Spakowski's had a night off, so we'll see what he thought. I'll see what I thought, and we'll throw in some SofaScore stats as well, just to see if they back up our scores. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but we'll have a chat about that when we do each one. Please, guys, before we look at that, if you can hit that like button, that'd be fantastic, or subscribe button if you've not already done so. You can hit the like button, which is somewhere down there. That'd be fantastic. Helps the channel, helps me, of course. So if you can do that now, guys, before I amaze you with my player rating vlog, please do so. That'd be wonderful. Helps us out. And of course, if you've got any hype points to spare, that'd be fantastic. Any hype points are always very, very welcome. My thanks to everyone who's passed those on. And it's a season of goodwill, isn't it, Christmas? So any help you can give me, guys, helps the algorithms, helps the channel. So thank you very much in anticipation of that. Thank you. Right, let's talk about these players. Yes, I'm going to have a bit of downer on the first one, Mr. Donnarumma. Not downer, but a bit disappointed. Tyrone said couldn't do much with a powerfully struck shot. I probably think he could. Anyway, for the goal, but was in no man's land for a late corner. Didn't have many saves to make. He's given him a 6. I give him a 5.5. I think it was a good goal, but I thought when I did my little preview, I didn't think Donnarumma was okay saving with his feet, but it's a big skill for goalkeepers, saving with your feet. Now, I personally, in that position, as Donnarumma, I would have probably tried to save that with my right boot. But Donnarumma tried, obviously he couldn't, it was so well placed, he couldn't get down quick enough, which he usually can, to save it. So I think if he'd gone with his boot, he might at least have kept it out initially. He might have rebounded anywhere and rebounded to a Real Madrid player, but you play those percentages as a keeper anyway. So yeah, again, it's not the greatest skill that he's got, like coming for crosses, which he pretty failed at, didn't he, on one cross. It's not his greatest skill, saving with his feet. So deliberately saving with his feet, not just when it hits him. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 5.5. I thought he could have done slightly better, but other than that, there's not a lot he could have done. Most things were blocked or hit over the bar or wide by Real Madrid, so we got away with that one. Let's have a look at his SofaScore stats. He made 1 error leading to a shot. He made 1 key pass. His accurate pass is just 9 out of 20. Now, when you're playing against a team like Madrid, that's not fantastic. Long balls accurate, 5 out of 16. Again, you know, of course, we don't want to harp on about Ederson, do we? But we know he's not going to hit Ederson figures, but you'd expect far better. But say in a game like this, where he didn't have to make too many saves anyway, obviously Ederson might have been better, but doesn't matter. We haven't got him anymore, does it? We've got Donnarumma, and we're quite happy with that, actually. 24 touches, lost possession 11 times, so kicked it to them. 1 clearance, 4 recoveries, and as I said, that 1 error leading to a shot. Right, on to Mr. Nunez, who had an interesting night. Started off shakily, said Tyrone, against Vinicius Jr., and relieved to see early penalty season overturned, as were we all. Beaten on the outside a couple of times, but recovered well. He scored him a 6. I just thought he had it wasn't going to be the easiest night, even with players of Real Madrid being slightly out of form. They still can do it on the day, of course he can. They had a lot to prove last night, although eventually they failed. They certainly had a go, Real Madrid, for whatever reason. It was clumsy for the pen. he got away with it. There's one where it hit his arm, but I think it was sort of in front of his body, so there's no what's he supposed to do? He wasn't sticking it out, but a couple of people have said it should have been a penalty, not a cat and hell's chance. I mean, we're talking Champions League here. If that had been a penalty, it would have been given. So yeah, it was a fairly torrid night. I thought he coped okay generally. So Tyrone's given him a 6. I've given him a 6 as well. I think he certainly could have done worse, and I think considering, he's a right back who's having to sort of adapt. I thought he did quite well against strong opposition. Tackle wise, he won 3 out of 4. 1 interception. This is Sofa score, of course. 6 clearances, 1 block shot, 7 recoveries. He won 7 out of 11 ground duels. Now, yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad night for him. Aerial duels, he won both, 2 out of 2. A couple of fouls. He had 1 cross that wasn't accurate. His accurate passes was 89%. In our own half, it was 24 out of 29, 83%. Perhaps could have been higher. Long balls, just 2 out of 5 were accurate. Again, could have been better. He had 99 touches, so he was busy. Unsuccessful touches, 2, which is okay. One dribble, which was unsuccessful. He was fouled 3 times. That's good. Getting fouls off this referee, even better. Lost possession 15 times, though, which is quite high. And if you're getting up towards 15 to 20, it's probably a little bit high for a defender. So I think those scores are about right. I think they sort of back up what we're thinking on that one. On to Ruben Diaz, best of the defenders, said Tyrone, but City would have been relieved to see Mbappe stay on the bench all night. Probably. He could have been the difference, actually, of getting a victory here and a draw or a loss, actually. Huge late block from Bellingham. Yeah, well, he's overrated anyway, isn't he? Tyrone's given him a 7. Yeah, slightly less from me. I give him a 6.5. I think we deserved the odd bit of luck, and Ruben did. And, of course, as we battled at the end, we certainly did get a little bit of luck, because I say most of what Real Madrid did was either skied or sliced wide. So we're a little bit lucky, but he deserved that luck. So I've given him a 6.5. Let's have a look at his stats. 1 tackle that he won, 1 interception, 2 clearances, 2 block shots, 1 recovery. He won 1 out of 2 ground duels. He won all 3 of his aerial duels. It's noticeable that Ruben's improved his aerial superiority this season, which we were commenting at the start of the season he needed to, and I think he is. 1 foul. His pass accuracy was 87%, 41 out of 47. In his own half was 28 out of 30, so not too bad. Long balls, 1 out of 3. Touches, 53. Lost possession 6 times. So, yeah, I'm quite happy, Ruben. I thought Ruben did very, very well, but I think his partner did as well, despite not the greatest start. Josko Gvardiol. Tyrone said caught on the ball for the penalty. That wasn't in the kind of sloppy moment he displays every now and again. Settled down after that, so he gave him a 6. I think the fact that what he did up front probably is worth another half a point for me. He did have his bozo moment, of course he did, but he did make amends as the pressure cranked up as well. He was key in O'Reilly's goal, but he was a little bit in and out. But yeah, I'm going to give him the same as I give Ruben. I think I don't want to give any difference. I'm going to give him a 6.5. He won 2 out of 3 tackles, 1 interception, 5 clearances, 1 block shot, 4 recoveries. He won 3 out of 4 ground duels. He won 3 out of 5 aerial duels. Last man tackles 1 foul, 1 key pass. 91% pass accuracy. In his own half, 31 out of 31. That's obviously what we want to see from a defender. Long balls, just 1 out of 4, not great. 68 touches, unsuccessful touches, just 1. Lost possession 6 times, and total shots 1. Shots on target 1. So yeah, I think we're pretty happy. I think Gvardiol deserves at least what Diaz got, and say a couple of hairy moments, but he did okay. On to the FIFA man of the match, probably most people's man of the match, Nico O'Reilly. Tyrone said could probably have done more to stop Rodrigo's goal, but not alone in that regard. Outstanding apart from that, strong running down the left and defensively sound. He scored him an 8. A real sniffer's goal, wasn't it? Alan Clark sniffer's goal there, a real poacher's goal. Fantastic for City's first. Didn't look overawed at all, did he, by this? The boy's becoming a man, I think, on these sort of performances, and he's revelling, isn't he? He's just getting better and better. Can't give him an 8. I'll give him a 7.5, as I say. He did look shaky, as the rest of us did at times against the Rodrigo and company. But I'll give him a 7.5. Let's have a look at his stats. 1 goal, with an expected goal of 0.89. Yeah, probably looked like a 0.99 to me anyway. He won 3 out of 3 tackles, 1 interception, 4 clearances, 2 block shots, 5 recoveries. He won 4 out of 8 ground duels, 1 out of 2 aerial duels, 2 fouls. He created 1 big chance, 1 key pass. He had a couple of crosses, neither of which were accurate. His passes again in his own half, 12 out of 14, so 86%, although he was better in the opponent's half. I think he was better up front in their bit than our bit last night. 20 out of 21, 58 touches, 1 successful dribble. Lost possession 8 times, mainly up in their half of the pitch. 2 shots, 1 shot on target and 1 shot block. So yeah, I think Nico Ryler's probably deserved that man of the match accolade. On to a guy who I thought Pep sold down the river on this one, playing in a position that I thought was a bit silly. Him and Cherky sort of couldn't quite. I mean, he even fouled Cherky, didn't he? Cherky was through, and Cherky thought it was going to claim a penalty till he realised it was Bernardo who had brought him down in the second half. But anyway, Pep asked him to play over there, playing on the right. I don't see the point, in fairness. 3 years ago, he would have loved it. He would have loved it against Real Madrid, but isn't the Bernardo Silva 3 or 4 years ago, is he, unfortunately? So a bit puzzled by Pep's decision to keep him and sort of stick him over on the right. Tyrone said it wasn't his best game. It wasn't, but whose fault's that? I blame Pep. Sloppy in the build-up to the overturned penalty and overpowered too easily by Carreras to start the move for Rodrigo's first half goal. Tyrone's given him a 6. I mean, look, listen, where Pep asked him to play, as I say, I just think he and Cherky didn't quite work very well because they were too cramped over that side for me. I didn't even notice Cherky for a while until he eventually got into the game. I mean, really, I thought he deserved probably a 5, but the fact that he did what Pep told him to do, I'm just going to give him a standard 6 because I don't think particularly it's his fault. I just think Pep was asking too much of him last night. Perhaps Pep's seeing stuff that we don't. But this lad, last couple of games, has absolutely looked shot and knackered by the end. I don't think it was the best decision from Pep last night. Although of course, he did pick the strongest team. I just don't think Bernardo should have played in that position. Crosses accurate, none out of 1. 94% pass accuracy. In his own half, 9 out of 9. That's fine. And even in the opponent's half, 25 out of 27. So that's okay. That's good. 52 touches, 2 unsuccessful touches. 3 dribbles, just 1 successful. Was fouled once. He lost possession 9 times. Again, which isn't bad at the scale of things. Interceptions 3, clearances 1, ground duels 1, no, 2 out of 10. So that's a little bit low, isn't it? And 3 fouls, yeah. So, and he got booked as well, didn't you think? So, yeah, I'll stick with that. I'll stick with the 6 because I think as Pep tends to do sometimes, he throws 1 or 2 of his players to the wolves occasionally against teams, doesn't he? And I think he did it with Burnley last night. On to Nico Gonzalez. Tyrone said a bit of a shaky start, but felt like he really grew into the game, and his steady passing helped City control the game for large parts of the second half. Scored him a 7. I've given him slightly less again, as I tend to do with Tyrone and Simon most of the time. I'll give him a 6.5. I thought it was perhaps a bit more needed second half, but when we're under the cosh, you could probably say that for a lot of the players, apart from, say, the back 2 or 3 who were sort of backs to the wall. But I think the fact if he'd had Bernardo next to him, I think we would have even seen a more dominant performance from Gonzalez. But he had a good game, and he was certainly good enough in that role. So I give him a 6.5 anyway. So have a look at his stats. Passes accurate, 57 out of 59, 97%. That's pretty good. In his own half, 21 out of 22, and 36 out of 37 in the opposition half. Very impressive. 2 out of 3 long balls were accurate, 72 touches, 1 unsuccessful touch, was fouled once, lost possession just 5 times, and that's pretty good. I might be upping my score here in a minute based on this, but I'll stick with what I thought of. Tackles 1, 3 out of 3, interceptions 2, 1 block shot, 8 recoveries. He won 4 out of 9 ground duels, okay, 2 out of 3 aerial duels. Committed 2 fouls. Yeah, I can understand a 7, but I'm not going to go against what I've already given him a 6.5. But yeah, he probably could have got a 6.8, but I don't round up, so let's leave it at that. Right, on to Phil Foden. Yeah, Tyrone said quiet by his recent standards and struggled to really get a foothold in the contest and show his quality. He scored him a 6. I think he's been generous giving Phil a 6. I give him a 5.5. Unlucky to be bought because let's face it, I mean, I as Phil indicated to that stupid, useless referee at the time. I think it was his first foul. It wasn't bad. It was obviously to stop a transition, but I think most referees would have let him get away with that. And then he never really got into it after that. I think it unsettled him a little bit. He's wary of being on a booking with this referee. He looked for any chance to send us off, even though he'd let Real Madrid get away with murder. But he never really got a chance to strut his stuff last night, I think, after that. So I've given him a 5.5. He had 2 crosses, neither of which were accurate. His passes 92% accuracy. In the opposition half, 15 out of 17 isn't bad. Touches 30, so not a lot really. Unsuccessful touches 1, was fouled once, lost possession 5 times, 3 recoveries. He won 1 out of 3 crown jewels and committed 1 foul. So yeah, I think it's a game that passed Phil by, and I think, as I said, I think that early booking limited what he wanted to do really. On to Mr. Turkey, who was obviously man of the match in the last game against Sunderland. Tyrone said quiet for half an hour. I don't think he knew what to do with Bernardo over there. I'm just totally confused as to what role Pep expected, because as I say, they weren't getting each other's way. I mean, one of them had to sort of hang back or come inside a little bit. I don't think it quite worked. Anyway, he strutted his stuff, said Tyrone, after sending the corner in for O'Reilly's goal. Some majestic moments in the second period and looked like he belongs on this stage. Has scored him an 8. Yeah, I mean, if it'd been like that all game, I would have scored him an 8. But I think his second half performance was excellent. But obviously, he was taken off just as he's becoming a threat for me. So to give him an 8, I think is a bit high. I've given him a 6.5 because I think, again, a bit like Bernardo in a different way, I think Pep restricted what Turkey could do by putting Bernardo over there, and I think it limited, when he did have a chance to score, he got brought down by Bernardo, so and then he got pulled off. Obviously, I think Pep was thinking about Palace with all 3 substitutions. It paid off in the end. We survived, but not particularly a substitution I would have made at that stage, but Pep's the boss, so I'll give him a 6.5. As I said, I thought he was denied the ability to really shine just by the tactics last night. 2 shots on target, 56 touches, 1 successful dribble, was fouled once, lost possession 10 times, created 1 big chance, 2 key passes, 1 out of 3 accurate passes, 89% pass accuracy. He won 1 out of 1 tackles, 3 recoveries. He won 3 out of 5 ground duels. He had an aero duel which he lost and made 1 foul. So yeah, as I say, that I might have pushed it to a 7, but the fact that Pep threw him under a bus again, threw him to the wolves by not really letting him off the leash for a good 30 minutes, sort of kept the score down for me. On to the big lad. Yes, took his penalty well. We'll talk about that in a second, said Tyrone. Was clever in making it clear how clumsy Rudiger was in fouling him. Yes, again. And just try and stop grabbing people. Though if they grab you, let them grab you. You're a big lad. You can take it. You don't have to sort of grab back and then you get 6 or 1/2 dozen other decisions then, don't you? Just get fouled. Just let the Rudiger, the thug Rudiger, that's what I call him, I always have done for many years, who's an insult to football for me, in fairness. Just let him foul you. But anyway, I thought it was a little quiet aside. I think he worked hard, but obviously Tyrone said he was a little quiet aside from that. A brave call to take him off. It was a brave call, but we were certainly under the pump then, weren't we? So unless he was an outlet, if you like, for a long ball, but obviously we've got Donnarumma in net again, not Edison. Don't think it was a bad decision by Pep to take him off. I thought, it was an okay pen, but I'm saving that one. I'm sorry. As a goalkeeper, I'm going to my left and saving that. Obviously, Courtois chose the wrong direction. But he battled hard, of course, mainly with that thug called Rudiger. He battled hard. So I give him a 7 as well, because I thought he played, he got the goal, he got the penalty, whether I would have saved it or not. I'm not in bleeding goal, am I? I'm just looking on. But anyway, 7 out of 10 from me as well, and 7 out of 10 from Tyrone. So his stats: 1 goal, expected goals 1.45, total shots 3, shots on target 3, big chances missed 2, 1 offside, 13 touches, was fouled twice, he won 1 penalty, lost possession twice, accurate passes 3 out of 5. So 2 out of 4 in the opposition half and 1 out of 1 in his own half. So that's not much activity, is it? Anyway, ground duels, he won 2 out of 3. Aerial duels, he had one, which he lost, and he committed one foul. On to Jeremy Doku. Interesting one, this one, because he did a lot right, but just that end product, wasn't it? Tyrone said some dangerous runs and had so much space to attack at times, but his decision making and final ball was as bad as it's been all season. Well, not all season, Tyrone. He's been doing all right. Perhaps at the start of the season we were sort of laying these things at him, saying he wasn't good enough, but he's had good games since, so I think you've been a bit harsh. He's given him a 6. I've actually scored higher, which is unusual. I give him a 6.5. He was so busy, such a threat all the time. He was denied by a decent Courtois save as well. Yeah, I just think he was a pain. Of course, he could have done better. The final ball was missing a lot. He probably could have got the odd shot off that he didn't get off. So I give him a 6.5. Tyler will give him a 6. Let's just have a quick look at his stats, see if they back up anything. 2 shots, expected goals on target, 0.22, whatever that means anyway. He didn't get it, did he? Shots on target, 1. Shots blocked, 1. 49 touches. Unsuccessful touches, just 4. Dribbles, 6 out of 10. Successful, that's fine. Was fouled 3 times. Lost possession 19 times. Anything up to 20 and over is always high, but you're going to get that with Doku and Savvy if they're playing a full game or near enough a full game. Crosses accurate, none out of 2. 16 out of 23 accurate passes. So, yeah, 10 out of 17 in the opposition half. Although he behaved himself in our own half, he got 6 out of 6, so that's all right. He had 2 tackles, he won them both. 3 recoveries. 11 out of 19 ground duels won. That's pretty good. Fouls 3 though. So, but yeah, so I'll stick with that. I thought, as I say, he could have done better with his final product, but I don't think it was a bad game. He kept Real Madrid busy and on the toes, didn't he? On to the substitutes now. Tijani Reinders. Tyrone said, help to try and lock the game down and give him a 6. Yeah, okay, but we were pretty much under the cosh by then, weren't we? So any of the subs had a bit of a thankless task, whether you agree with the substitutions or not. 2 out of 4 passes were accurate. One shot blocked, 9 touches. Nothing really, because we're under the cosh, weren't we? Backs to the wall. Unsuccessful touches 2. 1 successful dribble and lost possession 4 times, which is a lot for the amount of time he was probably on the pitch. But a bit of a surprise substitution. But as I said, I think he had one eye on Palace and wanted to give Cherky that little bit of extra rest. Another guy, of course, who came on, a bit pointless. Well, Omar Marmouche, Tyrone said, barely involved as City looked to hold on. Yeah, I mean, you may as well put another defender on, mightn't you? I mean, Omar, he should be an outlet. He didn't really prove that, did he? But again, he's not been getting any time, has he? Little effect apart from fresh legs, I suppose. Give Real Madrid something to worry about. He had 6 touches, unsuccessful touches 1. He had one dribble, unsuccessful. He lost possession 3 times. 1 key pass, though. Accurate passes, 2 out of 2. 2 recoveries. He had 2 ground duels. He lost them both. He won 1 out of his 2 aerial duels. Yeah, so nothing fantastic. Savvy, who was totally in and out for the time he was on the pitch. Tyrone said, won a free kick with a good late run and a lively cameo. Give him a 7. I don't, of course, I've not rated these subs because they weren't on long enough, but I think 7's a bit high. Couple of things he did was worth a 7, but he just needs to make decisions as to when to attack, when to take it over to the corner flag, when to hold on to it. He's not Jack Grealish, is he? Let's be honest about it. And sometimes he did something really brilliant and then just run it out or didn't do the right thing with it. He should have lost the ball when he should have held it. But he did create our best chance towards the end, but it was such an in and out performance. He had one shot blocked, 17 touches, so he's reasonably busy. Unsuccessful touches, just the 1. He won all 3 of his dribbles. So all 3 dribbles were successful. Was fouled twice. That's key, getting fouled, but wasting that time, certainly when our backs to the wall. Lost possession 5 times, though. 1 key pass. Passes 3 out of 5, 60%. He won. He had 2 tackles, which he didn't win either of them. Recoveries 4, but he won 7 out of 10 ground duels. So it's a bit of a mixed bag from Savvy. You see so much talent there, but it's just funneling that talent, getting it in there to do the right thing. I think it was the 92nd minute where it ended up where it was a bit of nothing, wasn't it? A shot or something like that. But rather than go towards a corner flag, his instinct was, just use a bit of this, use a bit of this. But I say he's just trying to impress, perhaps too much, trying to impress the fans, who obviously a lot have fallen out with him, trying to impress Pep, of course he is. But yeah, a really in and out game for Xavi's cameo performance. Nathan Aki, yeah, little time was it for him to do too much. Probably the right call at the right time just to break the game up. An extra defender, a couple of sort of headers clear, wasn't it? 2 clearances was his stats, 3 touches, and that was it really for Aki. So there you go. Right, there you go. Yes, hope you enjoyed that. As I said, O'Reilly, probably most people's man of the match, unless you know different. Let me know. Let me know any thoughts on these. Any big differences to what me and Tyrone have thought. I think there's only one player there that really sort of had us miles apart, wasn't it? So let me know what you thought of the game, guys. Please keep your eyes out very soon for the preview of the Palace game on Sunday, and also the story of this game, of course, with my famous headline, or not so famous headline, but whichever way you look at it. I think long and hard about these headlines. So some are all right, some are crap, but hey, it's just a bit of fun, isn't it? Thanks for watching, guys. Please hit those buttons. Want to get in touch with you, welcome to do so through this channel, YouTube, of course, or through other socials, or you just want to, I do get offers for sponsorship, stuff like that, but I always look for the right things to shout out for. So if you want to shout out a charity thing or anything like that, or you're interested in sponsoring the channel, if you like my content, City past, present and forever, of course, there are ways of getting in touch with me. Just keep watching and listening.
Thanks for that, guys. Hope you enjoyed the feature anyway, and please, if you can, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, that'd be wonderful. And if you're not already a subscriber, it'd be great if you could subscribe. It's absolutely free. Also, check out all my social media links. They'll be in the description and comments below if you want to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook. We can chat on there and do all things City, of course. Also, if you're into film and TV, don't forget a lot of this channel is film and TV stuff. I love me film and TV like I do City. So if you're into that, have a look. Or if you know someone who might not be that bothered about the football but likes film and TV, give them a kick in my direction. I'll be very grateful. And special thanks as ever to supporters of the channel. Piat6505. They've got a little eBay shop selling film and TV memorabilia mainly, including books, magazines, posters, lots of posters, and they do have some City stuff as well that they've purloined off me over time, so there'll be a few bits and pieces, probably more going on as well. So have a look at Piat6505 on eBay. And yes, if you do go onto eBay, and if you're a member, we do have memberships, 99p a month. You get early access to all my vlogs, so as soon as I do them, you get them. Sometimes it could be months before they're published generally, so a lot of the history stuff, so you have access. The membership gives you access to that. It gives you 10% extra off at Piat6505 if you want to buy any of that memorabilia. That's all that you can actually gain that from being a member. And support the channel. That's a great way of supporting the channel, of course, like watching the ads on the original thing that you've seen now, my original feature. That'd be fantastic. So yeah, also before we go, podcasts. If you like your podcasts, I do a podcast with Mike Long in South Korea. It's called Bolt from the Blue, in our 8th season. Yeah, we've had some good fun on there. We're trying to have a bit of humour, generally look at City's games as and when we play them, have a look back. So please check out that. It's on Soundcloud, Spotify, all good places you get your podcasts from. There you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed everything about this feature, and you didn't mind me asking you about this at the end. And please, all I ever ask for you is to stay safe, everyone, especially you Blues.